Excited about Airsoft? Hit the like button and comment to join other Airsofters in the conversation. What's up, Airsofters? It's time for another top 10 video, and this time it's one that you guys asked for. Again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. That's right, it's my favorite top 10 gas blowback rifles of all time. Before we get into number 10, I want to make two notes. One, my 1 through 10 list is not the best GBBRs that you can get. They just happen to be my favorites, and some of them we don't carry here at Evike.com. I just love them. And two, unlike AEGs, which have a pretty standardized set of internals and upgrade parts and replacement and maintenance items, gas blowback rifles vary pretty greatly from one brand to another. And while there are some brands that share very similar systems, it may have limited compatibility with other upgrade and maintenance parts. And so if you do want to pick up something that I suggest or mention as one of my favorites here, choose one that either has a lot of parts support in your area or from where you like to buy your Airsoft products, or make sure that you're confident in modifying or replacing those parts yourself. Sorry for the disclaimer. It's just, for those unfamiliar with gas blowback rifles, it can be a bit of a chore. Without further ado, let's get into number 10. Coming in at number 10 on my list of top 10 favorite gas blowback rifles of all time is this. This is the Cybergun licensed FN P90 by WeTech. Uses WeTech's gas system, which I think has come a long way in the past couple years. It's very reliable, and this is a super cool gas blowback rifle. And yes, I can already hear you guys typing in the comments that this isn't a rifle, this is an SMG or PDW, and I know. And there are a couple honorable mentions that I'm gonna make in this video as well that aren't rifles either. If you guys want a top 10 favorite SMG gas blowbacks, let me know. Comment in the section below and we'll do a whole video, and I'll throw this one in there as well. But I really like this one, classic P90 styling, but it has some really cool functionality thanks to gas blowback, and it retails for about 480 bucks. Coming in at number 9 on my list of top 10 favorite gas blowback rifles is the Umarex VFC HK416 gas blowback rifle. Now, at this time, they're not, well, at the timing of this filming, they're not being imported to the US. I don't know if that's ever gonna happen. And to be honest, I've never used one. But it's on this list because it's a 416. And if I could get a gas blowback 416, I would, because I love them. But I'm gonna rely on you guys in the comments that may not be here in the States. If you've used one, how are they? Are they nice? Do they perform well? Do you like them? Do they take upgrades easily? Let us know. I'm curious. Still on my top 10 favorites. I have yet to use one. Coming in at number 8 is this baby right here. This is the PTS Radian licensed Model 1 LM4. It's based on KWA's LM4 gas system. So there are some parts available. There aren't a whole lot of upgrades available at this time, but the reason this is one of my favorites is that the Radian ADAC receiver is one of the most gorgeous receivers I have ever seen. It looks awesome. It has a very realistic weight to it. I think the combination of the receiver, handguard, the really well-designed magazines, all together makes a really nice package. And this one also retails for about 450 bucks, right here at Evike.com. Number 7 on my list of top 10 favorite GBBRs is not only another SMG, but also one that I haven't used yet. But I've seen a lot of people talk about them, and I want one really badly. It's the Apache MP5 series. Specifically, the one that I think looks the coolest is the SD3, which I think actually is an SD5, but the naming is all wonky. One of the hardest things to do in Airsoft with AEG MP5s is have to decide between going with the cooler looking J stock and then not having enough battery storage space, or going with the full stock and having battery space but not having a really cool J or folding stock. And a gas blowback MP5, especially the Apache one, solves that issue by not having a battery. It is a super cool looking, as far as I can tell, really nice performing version of an MP5 in gas blowback form. Now I know it's not a rifle. That's of course gonna be on an SMG list if you guys want one. And I just love the way they look. Also, if you have one of those, comment below. Let everybody know what you think of it. It might inspire somebody who can get one to get one. And as far as I know, they retail for about $350. So not as expensive as some of the larger rifles anyway. Number 6 on my list of top 10 favorite gas blowback rifles is a GHK. It's the GHK M4A1 RIS Colt licensed gas blowback rifle. It's the V2 version and it's licensed by Cybergun. Now there are 2 lengths available. I particularly like the 10.5. The G2 system from GHK is robust, it kicks really hard, and that's one of the favorite things that I have about all of GHK's gas blowbacks is they have a really nice recoil impulse. And if you're using a gas blowback rifle, I'd argue most of the time you're more concerned about it feeling realistic than competing against AEGs, because you're just not going to compete against AEGs in terms of rate of fire and the amount of BBs they can hold. So if you want something that feels really realistic, GHK is an excellent option, and that M4A1 is a really nice option. And it retails on our website for $5.99. Number 5 on my list of favorite GBBRs is, as far as I can tell, kind of discontinued. It's the WeTech G39C. Now, WeTech made a couple versions of the G36 and labeled it the G39, a couple different lengths, polymer body, but I will say of all of the WeTech gas blowback rifles that I've ever fired, it was one of the lightest weight, most reliable, and most rewarding to shoot. It had a really nice wieldability to it. The gas mags didn't leak. The bolt system seemed to work really well, and at the time, it wasn't terribly expensive. If you can find one secondhand on pop-up or another marketplace, I recommend picking one up. Although, finding magazines can be a bit of a chore. They're worth it. Now the price is what made them so good, because their polymer bodies and relatively simple design. At the time that they were on sale just about everywhere, they were only 200 bucks, making them one of the cheapest gas blowback rifles you could get as well. Number 4 on my list is another GHK. Don't worry, I could feel you guys getting tense, all you AK fan bros going, oh, he's gonna do this entire video of gas blowback rifles and not mention an AK. Well, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're both wrong. We're talking about an AK, specifically the GHK AKS-74U. Now, I like GHK's AKs mostly because the AK's bolt system is front and center at the top, near your face. You can see the whole action moving. It's super loud and clacky. It's as realistic gets for gas blowback rifles, and it has a lot of kick to it. In addition, the AKS-74U comes with a real wood stock and an LCT frame, which, as you know, are known for their quality of externals in their AKs. So overall, it's a great package with a lot of realism. They're really reliable, and GHK's system kicks really hard, which I think kind of ticks all the boxes for gas blowback rifles. At the time of this filming, it's out of stock because they move really quickly. But the retail on those is about 450 bucks on our website. Number 3 on my list of favorite gas blowback rifles is a classic. This is the WeTech Open Bolt XM177. Let's talk about all of the boxes that this baby ticks. 1, super vintage. Yes, I know it's got the wrong flash hider, but that's changeable. Let's just talk about the other 98% of the rifle. It looks super duper cool. It features WeTech's open bolt system, which is not only reliable, has a good kick, excellent magazines, but WeTech and other brands produce a variety of upgrade and replacement parts for them, making them an ideal choice for someone who's going to be using these a lot and someone who's going to need to replace parts or upgrade them. I love the integrated carry handle. I love the weight and feel. The whole thing is very solid. There's no wobble to it. Overall, just a really rewarding experience for a gas blowback rifle, which is why it's number 3. Not to mention all of those other things, but another box checked here is the price. It retails for only $310. Now, if you're not into, super vintage rifles and stuff, I totally understand. WeTech has a whole lineup of open bolt gas blowback rifles that I think you'd be interested in. They're all on our website. You can check them out and find out even more details about them, as well as finding parts and upgrade things, all for this gun right here at Evike. Coming in at number 2 on my favorite gas blowback rifles is, admittedly, not the most attractive rifle on the planet, but it is one of the best gas blowback rifles. This is the KJW KC02, of which there are 2 or 3 styles. This one happens to be Type A style. It's really kind of like the tactical rifle with the adjustable or retractable stock and standard A2 pistol grip. I particularly like the KC02 because it is sized just like a real Ruger 1022 and will take real 1022 furniture. In addition, this is, to my knowledge, the most efficient gas blowback rifle currently made. It makes the best use of the available gas out of the relatively diminutive stick magazine, giving you a ton of performance and upgradability and the ability to use other real modern furniture, making this kind of one of the most customizable, highest performance options you can get. And what's better, doesn't cost an arm and a leg. This retails for $255 right here on our website. Now, before we get to my number 1, I've got a couple honorable mentions, one of which is this. This is one of the coolest gas blowback rifles, or gas blowback SMGs to ever exist. This is the GHK AKS-74U, known as the Groza. It is a bullpup AK that is super cool, super loud because your head is right next to the bolt assembly as it's racking. It kicks super hard, and because they were limited production, they were hard to get even when they were brand new. In fact, when we were able to get them, these retailed for $750 on our website, and I think the prices go up from there. It's not on the list because I know for sure they're discontinued, and even if you could afford one, would you? I mean, there are much better gas blowback rifles for this price point. Number 2 of my honorable mentions isn't out yet at the timing of this filming, and who knows, maybe a year or 2 from now, if you're watching this, you're like, oh yeah, old news, we've had that already. But at the time we're filming this, the Tokyo Marui Saiga 12K gas blowback shotgun has just been announced. And it's like a gas blowback assault shotgun that has a magazine, and it's a gas blowback that shoots 3 BBs at a time, and it's mag fed, and it's a Saiga 12K, and it's probably the coolest thing to ever exist. But because I don't have one physically to show you or use, it's got to stay on the honorable mentions. And that begs the second question. If it's a shotgun, is it a rifle? Unless it's designed like the Saiga 12K, which makes it an assault shotgun, which is shaped and ergonomically functions like a rifle, just happens to shoot shotgun shells, or in this case, 3 BBs at a time. Would that have counted for this video? Whatever. Let's talk about my number 1 choice of favorite gas blowback rifle of all time. And here it is, my number 1 choice of favorite gas blowback rifles of all time. This is the Tokyo Marui Mark 18 Mod 1, licensed by Colt. It feels fantastic. Everything finish-wise is so perfect. And on top of that, it's an absolute joy to use. Something interesting about Tokyo Marui's latest gas blowback rifles, their MWS system in particular, their ZET configuration, which is featured here on the Mark 18, is one of the most efficient and higher quality gas blowback systems when it comes to playing with airsoft gas blowback rifles in game. Something that a lot of the gas blowback rifles on the table do, and that were also featured in my top 10 list, is almost perfectly replicate the functionality and the internal parts of a real rifle while being specifically dedicated to airsoft that can't be converted. But TM went a little bit of a different direction, and they didn't go so much for realism on the internals. Instead, they concentrated on performance and making sure that these were excellent, reliable systems for actual play in airsoft games out of the box. And boy, did they deliver. The ZET, or the MWS ZET system on Tokyo Marui's gas blowback rifles is incredibly good. And there is a really healthy aftermarket parts availability for them. So if you did want to maintain, change parts, upgrade them, you absolutely can. The one drawback is the price of entry. This rifle alone, before any upgrades or changing parts, is about $800. And I know your jaw just hit your keyboard. It's kind of one of the reasons I haven't bought one yet. I'm still saving for one. But if you want a gas blowback rifle that's really well made, with a ton of attention to detail, and a gas system that is really well tuned for being used in actual games, there really is no substitute for the TM MWS gas blowback rifles. Plus it's a Mark 18. Well, that just about does it for all of my favorite gas blowback rifles of all time. Now, I'm sure I missed some of your favorites. So if there's one that you know of that you like a lot and that you'd recommend to another airsofter that's looking to get into gas blowback rifles, please put that in the comments section. Or if you know anything about some of the ones that I haven't even used yet, but I still put on my favorites because I like the way they look, let us know about those as well. This is a great community and we can all help each other out. And if you guys want to see a SMG gas blowback rifle video or gas blowback SMG video, put that in the comments too. We'll put links in the description for all of the models that are available here at Evike.com, and see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Want even more airsoft content? Hit the subscribe button and click the bell notification icon. Follow us on Instagram and join our Facebook for epic weekly giveaways.